So, good morning, guys and ladies. So, a lot of you guys have been emailing me about rounding or can you reset the assignment for me? I know my mistake. And what I really want to practice moving forward is submitting your 100% best work one time and one time only. So, I'm going to go over rounding for you and with you. Here we go. Rounding up. If the number you're rounding has 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 to the right of the rounding digit, we need to round up one digit. Now, everything to the right of that turns to 0, okay? And I want to go ahead and show you an example of that. So here we go. If I have a number, let's say 56.71, and I'm going to label these numbers. This is the ones place, tens place. This is the tenths place, and you guessed it, hundredths. Now, I'll give you time to process that. Because if you're like me, you're probably taking notes. This is a TH, by the way. So we have the ones, tens, tenths, and hundredths, okay? Now, the question says, round to the nearest tenths. So I'm going to write that down right here. I'm going to write it right here. And I'm going to change this number to a 7. So rounding to the nearest tenths, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my rounding digit. My rounding digit here would be 7. So I'm going to underline that. If you want, you can also put a box around it. I'm going to do it red because our definition is in red. Now, I told you guys to look to the right. Look to the right. What's to the right? Oh my goodness, it is a 7. And this hundredths place is also in the right. So I'm looking to the right. Now, as I'm looking to the right, I notice because it's a 7, I am rounding up. I'm not rounding this 7 up. I'm rounding what I put in the box up. So I'm going to round that 7 up to one place up, one digit up, okay? If I add 1 to that 7, it becomes a, yes, an 8. So my number will be 8. Now, yes, you guessed it. What happens to everything to the left of that, Miss Logan? It stays the same. That 7, though, turns to, let me hear it, 0. So everything to the left stays the same. Everything to the right turns to 0. And that is everything to the left of the rounding digit stays the same. And everything to the right turns to 0. Okay? Now, we're going to do some more as we go along. Let's check in with rounding down. So, if we are rounding down, the rules kind of don't change, just a little bit. So now, rounding down. If the number you are rounding has 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 to the right, we need to round down. But guess what? The rounding digit stays the same, so ain't much thinking you got to do around this one. So let's go ahead and try a number. Let's say we have 70 and 61. And we're still rounding to the nearest tenths here, okay? I'm still keeping what I apply there. And since we're rounding to the nearest tenths, what number's in the tenths place? 6. And guess what? I'm still gonna label my place values. Okay, now I wanna look at my neighbor. 6 is what we're rounding. I wanna look to the right. I'm gonna go ahead and draw that arrow. I'll do it this way because we're rounding down. And 1 is to the right. 1 is to the right. So that means I'm rounding down. But as I mentioned, it stays the same, and it being the rounding digit. So I am going to keep everything to the left. 70.6. And what happens to everything to the right? It turns to 0. So that 1 becomes a 0. Okay? These are the rules for rounding. This is how you would round. Now, I want to do one more, but I want to round to the nearest hundredth. So I want to go ahead and do that for you guys. So I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth. Okay? So I'm going to do rounding up first, and I'm going to do rounding down first. All right? So here we go. I want to pick a number, and my number is going to be, oop, I should have did that in green. Sorry, guys. Okay, for rounding up, and then we'll go oh, guys, you're not reminding me to do it in the right colors, guys. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and label my place values just in case I need it for myself. So this is the ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds. And if you need to see it out, here we go. Okay, and here we have tenths, hundredths. Here we have tenths, hundredths. And I want to give you guys some time to figure out what the next place value is. Yes, you guessed it. It is actually thousands. Okay. That's a THOU. Okay, can you guys see that? I'll turn it this way so you can see it. All right. Now, we need to go ahead and put a box around the number in the hundredths place. So here we have 1. Oh, wow. We have 1 in both places. Okay, that's great. So now I want to look to the right, and I'm looking at the thousands place. And to the right of the 1 is an 8. So already I know that I am going to be rounding up. Okay, I'm rounding up. So everything to the left stays the same. Oh, and that 6 is to the left also. The 1 is going to, you guessed it, round up 1 number to 2, and the 8 turns to a 0. Okay, now rounding down. I underlined the 1 here, and I'm looking to the right. And because it's a 4, I know I'm rounding down, and I'm looking at my rule here. Everything to the left stays the same. Everything to the left of the rounding digit. And the 1 is also staying the same, because that's what the rule says. And the 4 turns to a 0. I'm going to post this in your assignment and on the stream, including this video. And if you have questions, please reach out to me, okay? I'll also add here that for both rules, everything to the left stays the same. Everything to the right turns to 0. Make it a little song. Jazzy it up a little bit. All right, guys? Bye for now.